rain is starting to tumble down. And of course, we're forgetting about that sensation that happened before the race with the pre-race irregularity with Double Trigger. And Dermot Weld is down here now. I might try and get a quick word with Dermot, and we can listen in.
Great race, you know, sure, he got taken out in the first 50 yards. He got stopped again about 7 furlongs out. Ground then being pretty soft. He'd so much ground to make up. He's run a superb race. A little bit unlucky.
Yeah. He is an old marvel, Dermot, isn't he?
He's a great horse. He's probably run, I would say, Lee Friedman said to me during the day, he said, I think he looks every bit as good as when he won here. And I think I had him, he was the same horse today as the year he won.
Dermot Weld talking about vintage crop. We're going to take a break now. The rain falls at Flemington, but I don't think Lee Friedman, Damien Oliver and the connections of Doremus will mind standing out in it one little bit. They're about to be presented with the Foster's Melbourne Cup.
Doremus D. Oliver running away with the 1995 Melbourne Cup. You go away from these cups every year with memories, and I'll remember for a long time Damien Oliver putting his arm around Johnny Letts, both of them on horses where they belong, great jockeys, and saying, mate, this is unbelievable, I've just won the Melbourne Cup. And won it he did, just like that, sending Doremus to the line. What a fantastic win. Couldn't be happier for him. Damien Oliver. All right, presentations are ready down in front of the members. Here is the chairman of the VRC, David Burke.
See the Governor of Victoria, Mr. McGarvey and Mrs. McGarvey, the Honourable Geoffrey Kennett and Mrs. Kennett, Honourable Ministers, both local, interstate and international, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen another great Melbourne Cup. Congratulations to all the competitors, all the people who've supported this race, and particularly those people who've come from interstate and overseas, because it is now truly an international event. On behalf of the Victoria Racing Club, I too thank you, the public, for coming out today. I know the conditions haven't been overly pleasant, but it's been a wonderful day. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you the, Mr. Ted Kunkel, the Managing Director of CUB, whom the Victoria Racing Club thank very much for the sponsorship. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kunkel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I guess the Foster's Melbourne Cup really is racing's toughest test, its greatest prize, its holy grail, really. The starting lineup today represents years of hard work and dedication. The Melbourne Cup really is all about the will to win and staying the distance. Just like the race itself, Foster's is a stayer. This marks the start of the second decade of Foster's sponsorship of the Melbourne Cup. Our first 10 years has been spectacularly successful, and we look forward to a long association. Over the last 3 years, the Cup has become much, much more international, and our great Australian icon, this race, is fast becoming the best handicap event in world racing. And for this, the VRC is to be congratulated. Also to be specially congratulated are today's winning team. The owners, the Pacer Australian Syndicate, Biggs and others, the trainer Lee Friedman, and the jockey Damien Oliver, well done from all at Foster's. It's now my privilege to ask His Excellency the Honourable Richard McGarvey to present the 1995 Foster's Melbourne Cup.
Mr. Chairman, Mrs. Burke, Premier, Mrs. Kennett, all present at this great race, Your Majesty the Queen watching in New Zealand, millions watching around the world. Unlike the weather conditions, the atmosphere here is splendid today. It's been a warm, typical Melbourne Cup, which is appropriate for the day that belongs to the whole community, indeed the whole world. It is a high honour indeed, and a high achievement to win a Melbourne Cup. Richly has the prize been deserved today by De Remus in that splendid race. It is now my very great pleasure to present the 135th Melbourne Cup to Terry Henderson, representing all the owners. Terry, congratulations.
Thanks very much. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, well, as you can appreciate, this is a very special moment for us owners in this horse. As a kid in this town, you watch Melbourne Cups from the other side of the fence from the time back as far as you can remember, and you dream that one day you might be standing up here holding a Melbourne Cup. And I tell you, this is something extra special for all of us involved in this horse. Something really extra special. We owe it all, of course, to the mastery of Lee Freedman and his team and the genius of Damien Oliver. We'll let the press cloud them tomorrow. All we can say to you both fellas is that well done. We'll be internally indebted to both of you, and I tell you, all of us owners are very, very proud to be associated with Lee and his team and with Damien. To the horse De Remus and Sonia, his strapper down there, well, we think De Remus epitomises what Melbourne Cups are all about. He's not a flash looker. He's full of athleticism. He's got a heart as big as Phar Lap, and he's got as much ability as you'd ever want in a racehorse. And the courage that the horse showed today was just something special to us all. And I'm sure, ladies and gentlemen, if De Remus had talk, he'd say thank you very much for welcoming me back in the way that you did. I'd like to ask Keithy Biggs, who's my co-owner from Kalgoorlie, who wants to speak to his friends in Kalgoorlie, to say something. Over to you, Keith.
Thank you, Terry. His Excellency the Governor of Victoria, the Chairman of Victorian Racing Club and fellow committee, and Foster's for sponsoring the Melbourne Cup. I'm not going to say too much, just I'd like to thank the great support we've had from Western Australia, especially Kalgoorlie and Boulder. The people are on course today, and there's dozens and dozens and dozens of them. And to those in Western Australia, we really thank you for the support. And of course, this wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the great Freedman brothers. And to Lee and the boys, a tremendous training effort. And to Damien Oliver, of course, a Western Australia. Good on you, Damien. And to everybody who supported and everybody who gave us a great thrill this afternoon, thank you very much.
The Governor will now present the trophy to the winning trainer, Lee Freedman, who has now won 3 Melbourne Cups.
Lee, congratulations.
Your Excellency Governor, Lady Governors, distinguished Mr. Premier, Mrs. Premier, members of the committee of the VRC, ladies and gentlemen, I guess I'd have to say this is my greatest thrill in the Melbourne Cup. I've won 2 before, but to win with this horse who'd had such a checkered career. We always thought he'd be best at Flemington. Caulfield to us was a bonus. The rain did worry us, but he's a great stayer. He reminds me very much of Superimpose as a handicap type horse, and I think he'll make the grade to weight for age. I've got to thank everybody in the stable for the magnificent job they've done with all the horses all season, particularly Sonia Tate, who looks after this horse and just dotes on him. Magnificent job. And to Damien Oliver, well, he's not a bad rider. Thanks again for the owners for allowing me to be patient with the horse, and I'm glad I made the decision not to run Saturday. It's paid dividends now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lee. Now the Governor will present the trophy to the jockey, as well as the Worth's whip. That's a general. It's been done here for many, many years, and the Governor will present this to Damien Oliver.
Damien, congratulations.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. Well, first of all, I think I've got to thank the Freedmans. I don't want to do this, but I suppose I better. They've just become Group 1 legends, I suppose, in the last 10 years. They're just unbelievable training efforts in Group 1 races. To all the owners, they're wonderful people, and they've been behind me all the way and been great support. All my friends here that are here today have been great support, and some friends have especially come over from Perth to see it. I wish my mum and my brother could also be here today, but they couldn't make it. Who else I think? I'd also like to dedicate this win to my father, who died when I was 3 years old in a race fall. I just wish he could have been here today to see this. And I'd like to thank Foster's. I think we'll be having a few of those tonight. Thank you.
Good on you, Damien. What about that face? About as Australian as Ginger Meggs he is, and didn't even bother to wash the mud off before he came and had the presentations done. Well, I suppose it's a bit of an anticlimax. There's Gay cheering on Nothing Like a Dane for the 1995 Foster's Melbourne Cup as we take a break. Welcome back to viewers right around the world to the 1995 Melbourne Cup. In all the excitement, one thing we haven't done is the dividends. Here's Danny Malecki with them now. Have a look at the closing stages again of the 1995 Melbourne Cup.
Nothing like a Dane is getting through. Doremus hits the lead in the Melbourne Cup. Nothing like a Dane is Alfred. Quick Ransom is running on late. Doremus for Damien Oliver a length in front. The 3-year-old Nothing Like a Dane trying to run it down. Then Coachwood, Quick Ransom. Doremus has broken away. He's got them covered, I think. Yes, he has. Doremus is going to win the Melbourne Cup for Damien Oliver. Lee Freedman's third cup. Doremus wins by 3 lengths. Second placing, Nothing Like.
Well, there it was, Doremus, and what a good win. To our international viewers, thanks for joining us. It's always a pleasure to bring it to you. That was the Melbourne Cup.
Marsha's got a...
Welcome back to Flemington. Just a quick reminder that you must get in for that fashion competition pretty quickly. We're closing it off at 4 o'clock. To pick your designer, 0055 60521. Just a few minutes left. The winner announced after the 7th, which is the next, at about 4:30. Well, I'm sure a great many of you are wondering if anything was wrong with Double Trigger at all. We're about to find out. Pete Donegan has Mark Johnston with him.
Yes, Tim, Mark's been very kind to give us his time, as he has all throughout this visit, and we feared that something might have been wrong with the horse. Is he okay?
He certainly seems to be okay. I was actually quite surprised at how well he looks. I've gone down there to see him at the veterinary unit where they're doing a swab test on him, and the horse is bucking and kicking even more so than he was in the pre-parade ring. So I've never seen him so fresh after the race.
We noticed even the first time he came past us that Jason was riding him hard to keep a position.
Yeah, I will have to go back and look at the whole race and look at the things, but I do think that whether that was because the horse had not handling the ground or there was something wrong with him, but for whatever reason the writing was on the wall there. I've always said the horse does not like to be rushed, hurried or bustled along, and I felt first time he came past me that I didn't like it. You know, I don't like to see him like that. I always feel he has to find his legs before he can produce his run.
It's a dream, it's an ambition to win the Melbourne Cup. You must be a disappointed man at the moment, all the preparation that's gone into this.
Very disappointing. You know, the first thought was it was quite a blow to finish out the back there. See Quick Ransom finishing fourth. Shows me that I've got the right horses. I picked the right horse last year. Must have got the preparation wrong. I don't think there's any doubt about that. Then you watch Vintage Crop being so consistent in the race and think, well, what's he doing that we are not doing? Having gone and looked at Double Trigger now, I think, well, there might be more to it than that. The horse certainly seems fit enough and well enough to have run well in the race. As I say, I can't believe how well he is. I've never seen him looking so little like he's had a race.
Mark, I hope we do see him back for another tilt of the Melbourne Cup. I hope we see you back. We can only thank you for everything you've done with the media and to promote the race, and let's hope we see you in 12 months' time.
Okay, thank you.
Mark Johnston, the trainer of Double Trigger. Unfortunately, not his day today in the Melbourne Cup, but you never know, we might see him again. Jenny Chapman joins me now, and we take a look at the horses in the next event on the program, race 7, the Crown Sprint. And as they go out quickly, Jen, first of all, Monsieur, D.L. Friedman, D. Oliver, not a bad combination, honestly.
Not a bad combination at all, Peter. Of course, Damien rode this horse at Geelong last start, and it was a fabulous ride. He won there. A lot of weight here, 16.5 on the heavy track. That might make it a little difficult, but boy, they've done everything right today.
3 is Super Shaquille, the rider Greg Hall for John Marr.
Well, this horse does go very, very well on the wet. In fact, he's my selection in the race. I think he's going to be quite hard to beat here from the Johnny Marr stable.
Number 4 is Raft. Last start, third behind Pearl Prince at Moonee Valley, trained by David Hall at Epsom, ridden by Glenn Boss.
I liked his run last start. He did run on quite nicely at Moonee Valley to run third there behind Pearl Prince. I gave him an each-way chance in the race.
And going down to the next one, number 6, Del Sol. Jason Weaver is the rider for Jim Marconi.
I thought he found the 1,000 metres too short after being freshened up last start. Werribee, well, he's up to the 1,200 metres here. I think he's probably a bit better suited here and probably a place chance in the race.
Last start, Caulfield winner, number 9, Avalon Ferry, to be ridden by Shane Trotter.
Another horse that does handle the wet conditions. He's fresh, and his fresh form is okay. You can see his last start, he won on the slow track at Caulfield, so he's there with a good chance in the race.
And the other one of the chances, 11, Love Moves Me, to be ridden by Brian Werner for Robbie Lang.
Another one that has very good wet track form. 4 good runs in Melbourne since being here, and I think you do probably have to leave him there with an each-way chance.
Trifecta, Jen. Quickly.
Well, as I see them, I like number 3, Super Shaquille, from number 6, Del Sol, and number 4, Raft.
And I've gone for number 4, Raft, as they go to the stalls. The Crown Sprint coming up shortly.
Good afternoon.
Welcome back to Network 10's live and exclusive coverage of Foster's Melbourne Cup Day. And the lady who was oh so close to collecting the cup is smiling down here with me, Gai Waterhouse. Nothing like it, Dane. What a great horse.
He's an outstanding horse, and Di got off him and said he's remarkable, Gai. He said he is the best horse I've ever ridden. He said he's absolutely remarkable.
And this is taking nothing away from Doremus, but for him to do what he did is just extraordinary.
Oh, well, Doremus has proven himself the best stayer in Australia by winning the Caulfield and Melbourne Cups and winning it convincingly. But the 3-year-old was really mighty. He was absolutely fabulous, and even though he's beaten 4 lengths, he never gave up. And he beat some very, very seasoned, some very good talent behind.
I just loved watching him in the mounting yard before the race. It's like when he's at track work here in the middle, he just stands there. He's like an old 6-year-old gelding. Nothing worries him.
He is. You said exactly that. He's so relaxed. He's got such a lovely stride, a lovely loping walk. Oh, he's a lovely horse.
He's going to be a good horse for you over the next couple of years, I think.
I think he is. I think he is. We're going to send him for a spell now, and then he'll come back for the autumn and be sent for the BMW.
Keep smiling. You should be very, very pleased.
I will. Don't worry.
Good on you, Gai. Gai Waterhouse with nothing like a Dane. Let's go to Dan Malicki.
All set to go. Sable Dreamer takes its place in the lineup of 12, and they're set to run. The Crown Sprint racing now. A fair break. Just Sterling got out fairly well, and so did Super Shaquille. Del Sol ridden hard to maintain a forward position. Just in behind those was Jadiva Bell, and also Starduster was there. Avalon Ferry into about 5th placing with Monsieur, and behind those was Love Moves Me. And wider out on the track now, Sable Dreamer. Century Toast is back about 3rd last with Famous Nick. As they run down towards the 800 metres point, Del Sol just in front of Just Sterling outside it. About a length and a half away then, and Monsieur getting into 4th placing. Avalon Ferry just behind them. Super Shaquille dropped in on the fence behind these leaders. He's hard up against the paint now as Just Sterling puts pressure on Del Sol. and Super Shaquille through on the rails, about 3 lengths to Monsieur. They were followed by Century Taste, which has made up a bit of ground. Love Moves Me, Starduster, and then came Raft, getting to about 5th inside the 350. Super Shaquille, Del Sol just earning a length away. Then Monsieur, followed by Raft, Del Sol, Super Shaquille, a length and a half to just earning, and Monsieur. It's Super Shaquille and Del Sol. Super Shaquille on the inside, Del Sol coming again. Super Shaquille and Del Sol, they get very tight. Super Shaquille, Del Sol, Monsieur to 3rd. Super Shaquille just in front of Del Sol bobbing. Oh, close. Maybe Super Shaquille, a nose to Del Sol, but it's above the head. 3rd Monsieur, then came running on Jadiva Bell. Raft was next in, and then Love Moves Me. Just Sterling got tired, and then Avalon Ferry, Starduster, Sable Dreamer, Century Toast, and Famous Nick. Well, I was all prepared to say Del Sol, but right on the line, Super Shaquille's head went down, Gary Willis.
Just seemed to kick back, Dan, but by gee, what a great battle I've had all the way to the line. Like the last 200 metres, these two great jockeys fought it right out. They were hammer and tong that whole last 200 metres. Great to see. Jason Weaver on the outside and Greg Hall on the inside.
Greg stuck to the paint. He got a good run through. Del Sol had the inside running and drifted away from the rails, and it allowed Super Shaquille to get up on the inside.
Here they are here. There's Greg on the fence and the gold cap. Jason Weaver directly outside of him. They get pretty close together getting towards the line.
Number 3's won it, Super Shaquille.
Yeah, and here they are right at it. Getting in a bit closer here, so he's just had to pull off him. See how close they get here. Now he's got the whip in the left hand, Jason Weaver. That's what a great rider is. He switched straight from the right hand into the left. Got Del Sol going again. But Super Shaquille come right back again.
Okay, Greggy Hall getting Super Shaquille home only by the bob of the head, so he timed it perfectly, John Letts.
Yes, and Greg very happy. Greg, you had a good run in the Melbourne Cup, but couldn't win it, but consolation in this race.
Yeah, Johnny, yeah. It's nice to ride a winner for Johnny Marr too, mate. Been a while since for him.
And Greg, your plans were to stay on the fence all the way down the run?
Yeah, Johnny, you left a bit of room there on the thing of Jim Marconi's, the English guy. Yeah, but mate, I wasn't going to let him beat me. You're kidding, aren't you? Frankie Dettori against the G. They'd been a bit of trouble, wouldn't they?
Yeah, there would have been a little. You'd have had a bit to answer to tonight, mate. But good luck to you, Greg, and a good ride.
Good on you, thanks, Johnny. See you, mate.
Approximates Super Shaquille $4.80 and $2 even. It did run the favourite Del Sol $5.70, and Monsieur, who was never really in the race, it certainly favoured the leaders, but Monsieur $3 approximately for running 3rd. And if you got the Quinella, I can tell you it'll pay $40.80. 3, 6 and 1 as Greg Hall comes back to scale on Super Shaquille, who's actually got quite a good wet track record, and that's a double for John Marr today. He was successful earlier on in the Schweppes 1800 with Spanish Quest, Peter Donegan.
Yes, and John's taking some little time to come down, but Des O'Keefe from the stable, that was a good performance.
Peter, it was an outstanding performance. He's a very game horse, where John set him for the race just about 3 or 4 months ago, and when we got the rain, we were very, very confident. It was a very good ride by Greg, and for Tom Tripko, the owner, it's his first runner ever in Melbourne. He's only had a couple of horses run before and they've been in the bush, but he's won a race at Melbourne Cup Day today, and that's a day we'll never ever forget.
Well, your boss is a bit camera shy. He said you can do the talking now. I'm sure you don't mind doing it when you win 2 races on Melbourne Cup Day.
Yeah, it's a great week to win, Peter. We always target a lot of our team for this week. It's a very competitive week, and as you can see, it's very hard to win this week, and it takes a lot of effort from a tremendous team of people to fire on a day like today, and we're delighted.
I think that's one point we should mention, Des, that we concentrate so much on the Melbourne Cup on a day like this, but there are 7 other races. You aim towards them. Sometimes months of planning goes into it, and it is a big job.
Well, Peter, I can tell you, looking at John and our staff earlier in the day after Gegabar was withdrawn from the hurdle, I think we all felt just like going home. It was he'd also been set for that race for 3 or 4 months, and well, you know, it just is fantastic to win on a day like today. Gegabar will be here Saturday, and let's hope he can do the job for us on Saturday.
Hope he does. Well done, Desi.
Thanks, Peter. Thank you very much.
From the John Marr stable, Super Shaquille taking out the money in race 7, the Crown Sprint. We'll take a break and be
Marsha.
Yes, well, you might have had to park under a tree or under an umbrella for a minute or two during Cup Day, but they still came, they still looked great, and they still enjoyed the running of the Foster's Melbourne Cup for 1995. Still one race to go. Look at that, isn't that spectacular? All right, correct weight. We're after from Mr. Lawler in the Crown Sprint. Won in pretty good style by Super Shaquille. Great finish there with Del Sol for the second last time today. Pat Lawler.
3-6-1.
Give us that
15 and 4.
Memorable flick of the right hand. There it is.
Correct weight, thank you.
Thank you, Pat. All right, that means we can pay you. These are Victorian dividends, of course. Here's Danny.
$4.80 and $2 even for Super Shaquille, winning by a short half head from Del Sol, $5.70, and Monsieur, $3 even. It was 5 lengths away into third place. In Quinella, $40.80. The Exacta, $94.40. The Trifecta, $438.30, and the race-to-race double, $65.40 on 6 and 3. 3, 6 and 1. The time was 1 minute 12.3.
Thank you, Dan, as we go down to the slightly saturated members' lawn and Richard Zachariah.
The Crown Sprint has been run and won. Our host for this race from the VRC is committeeman John Finning. Our sponsor, of course, is Crown Casino, and from Crown Casino is Ken Carney, the Director of Corporate and Public Affairs, who will present the trophies.
Thank you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Crown is delighted to be involved with the excitement of Melbourne Cup Day, and particularly the Crown Sprint. This race was transmitted to our many friends in Asia and New Zealand, and trust the result was both exciting and affordable. The Crown Sprint is part of a trifecta of Crown races that will culminate in the Crown Oaks Day on Thursday. It's even more exciting for us to have a Crown jockey win another race. It's my pleasure to present on behalf of the owners, the winning trophy to Mr. Des O'Keefe.
Yes, well done to Super Shaquille and his connections. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we showed you this stirrup iron on Derby Day, and I just wanted to make sure that you got a picture of it, because this is Hayden. Hayden, how are you?
Hi, Tim.
He's the inventor of this, and I wanted to show it to you because there's a lot of people, and Hayden, you know this, young people in particular, who ride in joggers or ripple sole shoes, and they shouldn't.
Exactly.
But when you come off and get your foot caught in a stirrup, it can be a disaster. Now watch this. You can see, those of you who love horses, you can see this here. You come off, and it just goes like that and collapses. So the foot will come out of the stirrup. Great idea. What made you think of it?
Well, there's always been a necessity for it, and especially for weekend riders and just pleasure riders, and even us guys in a professional industry.
Yeah, that's right.
This. So, and having lost a mate when I was rather young.
Oh, really?
Through this year.
Yeah.
Lived in a small country town, and we used to ride in bare feet. And,
yeah, well, that's not a good idea either.
And had a couple of other mates being dragged and that sort of thing, so I sat to and developed this because there's just a need for it.
Now, Hayden, can anybody who wants them, they're available now in saddleries and shops around the country?
No, what we do is we're just selling direct through the company, which is Safe Rider Australia.
Safe Rider Australia.
Safe Rider Australia.
Well, if you're interested, maybe saddlery shop's interested too, they can get some from you.
Yes.
Safe Rider Australia. Let me do that for you again. It's a, great idea. And the stirrup just comes apart, so you can't get your foot caught in it. I think that's just terrific. Good on you. Well done for
Thank you. Could I just thank Johnny Patterson and Shane Patterson and Johnny Marr, who gave me a lot of support here while I was in Melbourne, and the VRC.
Pleasure. Thanks, Hayden.
Thanks very much.
Peter and Jenny, down to you for the last.
Yes, Tim, it's a great idea, that, and I think anyone, Jen, who saw that incident involving Simon Mills at Oakbank a couple of years ago.
Absolutely. Well, I've been involved in that myself. I've been dragged and had some nasty accidents with being dragged, so it's a great idea for the jockeys, yeah.
Yes, but most of the time that's in the car park after the carnival.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Hey, well done. Exacta in the last race. Quinella in order.
Yeah, Hong Kong, the Chinese will be happy with that. They love the Quinellas.
Oh, you can't wait to get home now, can you?
No, I'm fine here. I love the Melbourne Cup Carnival.
Okay, well, we're coming to the last on Cup Day, and it's the Royal Hong Kong Jockey Club plate, and we've got scratchings of 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 12, 16 and 17. There are a few left. There are 7 left, in fact, Jen.
Well, Pete, I really like number 15 here, Navy Brass. This horse, if you go back to April, he ran over 1,400 in the Victoria Handicap and he ran third in that. I really think that's probably good enough form for a field such as this today. He's had 2 runs in, so he's going to be a lot fitter. Number 3, Monopoliser, put him in for second. He's a horse that does handle these conditions. And also number 11, another Victor, 1,400 metres. His form over that distance is very, very good, so he looks well suited here.
I've gone for Ma Winner, number 8, but to be honest, without any confidence at all, because most of the horses that I was going to tip, just process of elimination, they were scratched. So I think I'd stick with Jen if I was you. The last event coming up at 4:45 and the umbrellas are up.